The world knows him as the man who defies gravity, the clown prince of kung fu, and the only human being brave enough to slide down a skyscraper for the sake of a perfect shot. But in the year 2000, amidst the worldwide frenzy of rush hour and Shanghai noon, Jackie Chan held a secret that was far more grounded literally. Deep beneath his fortified estate in the misty hills of Hong Kong, behind a reinforced steel door disguised as a limestone rock face, lay a sanctuary of speed. For Jackie, cars were never just status symbols. They were the ultimate expression of mechanical discipline, a physical manifestation of the same precision he demanded from his stunt team. In the year 2000, Jackie's collection was at its most eclectic and legendary. To walk into his garage was to walk through a museum of automotive history. On the far left stood the workhorses of the East, a pristine lineup of Mitsubishi Lancer Evolutions. Because of his long-standing partnership with the Japanese brand, Jackie owned several custom-tuned Evos, including the rare Evo V Tommy McKinnon edition, modified specifically for his height and driving style. To the right sat the Italian sovereigns, a scarlet Ferrari F40, a car Jackie described as a wild beast with no manners, and a Testarossa that shimmered under the halogen lights. Deeper in the shadows sat his true pride, a Porsche 959, one of the most technologically advanced cars of the 1980s, which Jackie prized for its over-engineered soul. There was also his custom Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4, the very car he used in City Hunter, equipped with twin-turbo power and four-wheel steering. But the crown jewel, the car that Jackie considered his personal dragon, was a one-off. Custom-built 1999 Pagani Zonda C12. It was one of the earliest examples of Horacio Pagani's masterpiece, finished in a unique dragon silver with a deep red interior. This car wasn't just a machine. It was a testament to Jackie's 30 years of broken bones and sweat. The Midnight Intrusion. It was a Tuesday night in October 2000. Hong Kong was draped in a thick, humid fog. Jackie had just returned from a grueling 18-hour shoot for The Accidental Spy and was deep in a well-earned sleep. But Jackie's body was tuned to the frequency of his environment. At 3:14 a.m., his eyes snapped open. He didn't hear a shout or a glass break. Instead, he felt a vibration, a low-frequency hum that vibrated through the floorboards of the mansion. It was the distinct, high-pitched scream of a Mercedes Source V12 engine. Someone had started the Zonda. The thieves were not common street thugs. They were a high-tech phantom crew that had been tracking Jackie's movements for months. They had bypassed the laser grids and the rolling code security of the garage door. By the time Jackie reached the garage floor, his lungs burning from the sprint, the Dragon Silver Zonda was already screaming down the driveway, its quad exhaust spitting blue flames into the Hong Kong night. Jackie stood in the empty bay, his chest heaving. Most men would have reached for the phone to call the Royal Hong Kong Police. But Jackie knew that by the time the sirens arrived, his Zonda would be inside a shipping container on its way to a private collector in Europe. He looked at his keys. He didn't grab the Ferrari. He didn't grab the Porsche. He lunged for the keys to his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo Vi. He knew these hills better than any GPS, and in these winding, narrow mountain passes, agility was king, not top speed. The mountain chase. The chase began on the winding Tai Mo Shan Road. The thieves in the Zonda were struggling to manage the raw, unbridled power of the mid-engine supercar on the damp, slick asphalt. Jackie, meanwhile, was in his element. He drove the Evo like an extension of his own body, drifting through hairpins with centimeters to spare, his hands a blur of motion on the gear stick and steering wheel. He wasn't just driving. He was performing a high-stakes stunt with no safety nets. As they reached the industrial shipping docks of Kowloon, the Zonda's speed advantage began to take over. But Jackie knew a shortcut and narrow construction alleyway that was barely wide enough for a sedan. With a grimace of apology to his car's paintwork, Jackie diverted. The Evo scraped against the corrugated metal walls, sparks flying like a firework display as he bypassed 3 blocks of traffic. He emerged onto the pier just as the Zonda was screeching toward a waiting cargo crane. The harbor showdown. The Zonda came to a halt, blocked by a wall of shipping containers. 3 men jumped out, clad in black tactical gear. They were professionals, and they were armed with telescopic batons and tasers. Jackie climbed out of the Evo. He was wearing nothing but a pair of silk pajamas and a worn-out pair of sneakers. He looked tired, he looked old, and he looked completely outmatched. The leader of the thieves stepped forward, flicking his baton open. "Give it up, Chan. You're a movie star, not a cop. Go back to your bed and let the insurance handle it." Jackie took a deep breath, his eyes fixed on the Zonda. He noticed a small scratch on the front splitter where they had hit a curb. That scratch was the final straw. "You stole my car," Jackie said, his voice dropping to that low, dangerous register he used in his most serious films. "And you scratched the paint. Now you have to pay for the repairs." What followed was a masterclass in real-life Jackie Chan. The thieves expected a boxer. They got a whirlwind. Jackie used the environment of the docks with the same genius he showed on screen. When the first thief lunged, Jackie grabbed a heavy shipping rope, swung around a crane hook, and delivered a double kick to the man's chest. He used a stack of wooden pallets as a shield, then dismantled them to use as makeshift clubs. The fight moved toward the Zonda. Jackie fought with an incredible, almost surgical precision, making sure every strike directed the thieves away from the car. He caught one man's arm in a joint lock, used his back as a stepping stone to leap onto a container, and then dropped down with a spinning elbow. The leader tried to use the car as a shield, but Jackie performed a spectacular handspring over the Zonda's roof, landing on the other side and delivering a palm strike that sent the thief sprawling into a pile of fishnets. Within 5 minutes, the 3 professionals were tangled, bruised, and incapacitated. Jackie didn't use a gun. He didn't even use a heavy punch. He used their own momentum, the ropes of the dock, and his absolute mastery of space. The return of the dragon. As the sun began to rise over the Victoria Harbor, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the sirens of the police finally echoed in the distance. Jackie sat on the bumper of his Zonda, his pajamas torn and his knuckles bruised. He pulled a small microfiber cloth from the glove box and began to gently buff the scratch on the splitter, a tired but satisfied smile on his face. The police commander, an old friend of Jackie's, arrived on the scene and looked at the 3 tied-up thieves. "Jackie, you're crazy. You could have been killed over a piece of metal." Jackie looked at the Zonda, then at his Emector faithful Evo, and then at the sunrise. "It's not just metal, Inspector," Jackie replied. "Every car in that garage is a memory of a stunt I survived. Every engine note is a heartbeat from a movie I finished. You don't let someone steal your memories." Jackie drove the Zonda back up the mountain himself, the V12 singing a song of victory through the empty streets of Hong Kong. He didn't go to the hospital for his bruises. He went straight to his garage, parked the Zonda in its rightful place, and spent the next 3 hours hand-washing the road salt and grime off the car. That morning, as he finally headed upstairs to sleep, he stopped at the top of the stairs and looked back at his collection. The Ferraris, the Mitsubishis, the Porsches, they were all safe. And in the center, the Dragon Silver Zonda glowed under the lights. A silent witness to the night, the man behind the legend proved that he didn't need a film crew to be a hero. He just needed his keys and his courage. The incident never made the headlines. In the year 2000, the world just kept watching Jackie Chan on the big screen, laughing at his jokes and cheering for his stunts, never knowing that the greatest action sequence of his life had happened at 4 a.m. in the silence of the Kowloon docks, for the love of a car in the sanctity of a dream.